Welcome. Before you do anything else, before you scroll, before you decide whether this video is worth your time, I want you to pause for just a second. I'm not here to motivate you for 5 minutes. I'm not here to give you temporary energy that disappears the moment the video ends. I'm here to change how you see your own mind. This video is not entertainment. It's not background noise. It's a mirror. And if you're honest with yourself, this mirror might show you things you've been trying to ignore. We live in a world that is loud and demanding. A world that never stops talking, pulling, and distracting us. Your phone vibrates, your mind races, your body feels tired, yet you still can't truly rest. You stay busy all day, but at night you feel empty. You are surrounded by people, yet alone with your thoughts. And maybe no one ever taught you how to deal with that. So you start looking for peace in the wrong places. You think, when I make more money, I'll finally be calm. When I find the right person, I'll be happy. When I succeed, then I'll feel at peace. But deep down, you already know the truth. Even when things go right, your mind doesn't slow down. The stress doesn't disappear. The overthinking doesn't stop. And the peace you're chasing never fully arrives. That's because peace doesn't live outside you. And no one ever showed you how your mind actually works. That's why today, I'm not sharing motivation. I'm sharing wisdom. Not from a trend, not from empty positivity, and not from someone trying to impress you. I'm sharing wisdom from one of the greatest teachers of the human mind, Gautama Buddha. Not Buddha as a religion. Not Buddha as something you have to believe in. But Buddha as a teacher who understood suffering, discipline, focus, and inner freedom. He didn't teach people how to escape life. He taught them how to understand it. How to stop suffering. How to let go. How to live with clarity in a chaotic world. In this video, I will share 20 powerful life lessons from Buddha. But these are not just quotes or ideas. I will connect them into one simple system, a way to think, feel, and live differently. If you truly understand even one of these lessons, your life won't change someday. It will start changing today. So don't rush. Don't skip. Stay with me until the end. Because this isn't just a video. This is a mirror. And what you see in it might be exactly what you've been looking for. For a long time, I thought my problems came from the outside. I blamed people. I blamed situations. I blamed bad luck, stress, pressure, and the world around me. I didn't realize that the real battlefield was happening inside my own head. My mind was always busy. Always talking. Always worrying. I would overthink small things, replay conversations from years ago, imagine problems that hadn't even happened yet. At night, my body was tired, but my mind refused to sleep. During the day, I smiled, but inside I felt tense and restless. And the truth is, many people live like this without knowing why. That's when I began to understand one of the most powerful lessons of all. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. Your thoughts don't just describe your life. They create it. Your suffering begins in the mind. Your peace begins there too. Your confidence, your fear, your anger, your calm. All of it starts with how your mind is trained. Think about it. 2 people can face the same situation and have completely different experiences. 2 students sit in the same classroom, take the same exam, and study the same material. One student thinks, I'm not smart enough. I'm going to fail. Their heart races, their hands shake, and their mind goes blank. The other student thinks, I prepared. I'll do my best. They feel calmer, focused, and present. Same exam, same room, different mind, different result. Or think about traffic. You're late, the road is crowded, and someone cuts you off. A reactive mind explodes. Anger rises, the body tightens, the entire day feels ruined. But a trained mind pauses and thinks, getting angry won't help me arrive faster. The situation stays the same, but the experience changes completely. This is the difference between a reactive mind and a trained mind. A reactive mind lives on autopilot. It reacts without thinking. It jumps from emotion to emotion. It gives power to every situation and every person. One small problem becomes a big one because the mind adds fuel to the fire. A trained mind is different. It doesn't mean life becomes perfect or problems disappear. It means you learn to pause before reacting. You observe your thoughts instead of obeying them. You choose your response instead of being controlled by emotion. This is where discipline comes in. Not harsh discipline, not punishment, but gentle awareness. A disciplined mind knows when to stop scrolling, knows when to breathe instead of react, knows when a thought is helpful and when it's poison. Most people train their body, but ignore their mind. They go to the gym, but never rest their thoughts. They protect their phone, but not their attention. They worry about food for their stomach, but never question what they feed their mind. Here's the simple practice that changed everything for me. When a strong emotion appears, anger, fear, anxiety, I pause. Just for a few seconds. I don't fight the thought. I don't judge it. I simply observe it. I ask, is this thought helping me or hurting me? And in that small pause, I regain control. You don't need to control every thought. That's impossible. But you can choose which thoughts you follow. You can choose calm over chaos, awareness over reaction, response over impulse. This is why the mind is the root. Change the root, and the entire tree changes. Your life doesn't need more motivation. It needs more awareness. Because once you see how your mind works, you stop fighting the world and start mastering yourself. And that's where real peace begins. For a long time, I didn't understand why I suffered so much. I thought suffering meant something was wrong with me. I thought it meant I was weak, emotional, or broken. But the truth was much simpler, and much harder to accept. I wasn't suffering because I cared too much. I was suffering because I was clinging too tightly. Buddha teaches that pain is a natural part of life, but suffering is something we create in our mind. Pain happens when someone leaves, when plans fail, when life changes. Suffering begins when we refuse to accept that change. When we argue with reality. When we hold on and say, this should not have happened. That's where attachment comes in. Attachment is not love. This is where many people get confused. Love is open, warm, and alive. Attachment is fearful. Attachment says, I need this to stay exactly the same, or I will fall apart. Attachment is loving someone, but being terrified of losing them. It's enjoying success, but tying your entire self-worth to it. It's wanting control over things that were never meant to be controlled. Think about relationships. You meet someone, you connect deeply, you share moments, dreams, and memories. That part is love. But slowly, without noticing, attachment sneaks in. You start fearing change. You start needing constant reassurance. You start checking messages, imagining worst-case scenarios, comparing yourself to others. Not because you love too much, but because you're afraid to lose. And that fear becomes suffering. Jealousy appears. Control appears. Anxiety appears. You try to hold the relationship tighter, thinking it will protect you. But just like sand in your hand, the tighter you grip, the faster it slips away. Love needs space to breathe. Attachment suffocates it. This is why Buddha says clinging is the root of suffering. When you hold life like a closed fist, it hurts you. But when you hold it with open hands, it flows naturally. The same thing happens with anger. Anger feels powerful at first. It feels like strength. It feels like protection. But anger is a fire that burns the one who holds it. Buddha described it perfectly. Holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intention of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned first. Think about the last time you were angry. Maybe someone disrespected you. Maybe someone hurt you deeply. You replayed the moment again and again in your head. Your body felt tense. Your sleep was disturbed. Your mood was ruined. And the other person? They moved on. They continued their life. You were the only one still holding the coal. Hatred works the same way, but deeper. Hatred is anger that has stayed too long. It becomes part of your identity. You tell yourself stories about what happened, about who was right and who was wrong. And without realizing it, you relive the pain every single day. You think hatred protects you, but it doesn't. It keeps you tied to the very thing that hurt you. Here's the hard truth. You don't suffer because someone hurt you. You suffer because you keep reopening the wound. You don't suffer because you loved deeply. You suffer because you refused to let go when the moment passed. Letting go doesn't mean what happened was okay. It doesn't mean you forget or approve. It means you choose not to poison yourself anymore. It means you stop giving your peace to the past. When you release anger, you're not losing power. You're reclaiming it. When you release hatred, you're not excusing others. You're freeing yourself. Care deeply. Love fully. Feel honestly. But don't cling. Don't demand that life stays the same. Don't build your happiness on fear. Hold life gently, like open hands instead of a tight fist. Because the truth is simple, even if it's uncomfortable. You don't suffer because you care. You suffer because you cling. And the moment you loosen that grip, even just a little, something inside you begins to soften. The pain loses its sharp edge. The fire cools down. And for the first time, you feel what real freedom starts to feel like. One of the most difficult truths to accept in life is also one of the most freeing ones. Nothing is permanent. Everything changes. Everything passes. At first, this idea can feel scary. We want things to last. We want happiness to stay. We want love to remain the same. We want pain to disappear forever. But Buddha teaches us something deeper. Change is not the enemy. Resisting change is. Think about your life for a moment. The pain you once thought would destroy you, did it stay forever? The sadness that felt unbearable, is it still here in the same way? And what about the happiest moments of your life? They were beautiful, but they didn't last either. Not because something went wrong, but because that is the nature of life. Nothing lasts, and that includes both suffering and joy. Imagine a rainy day. The sky is dark, the streets are wet, and everything feels heavy. You might think, this weather ruins everything. But you wait. Hours pass. The rain slowly stops. Clouds move away. The sun returns. The same sky that felt oppressive becomes bright and open again. Your emotions work the same way. Sadness comes like rain. Happiness comes like sunlight. Neither stays forever. The problem begins when we believe the rain should never have come, or when we beg the sun to never leave. This is where suffering is born. The past is already gone. It exists only as memory. You can't change it, replay it differently, or fix it by thinking about it again and again. The future hasn't arrived yet. It exists only as imagination, often shaped by fear or hope, rarely by reality. The only place where life actually happens is now. Yet most people don't live here. They live trapped between regret and worry. They replay what hurt them and rehearse what might go wrong. Their body is in the present, but their mind is somewhere else. And slowly, they miss their own life. Buddha didn't teach us to escape the world. He taught us to return to it, to this breath, to this moment, to what is happening right now, not to what already ended or what hasn't begun. Letting go is the key that connects all of this. And letting go does not mean losing. This is important. Letting go does not mean you stop caring, stop loving, or stop trying. Letting go means you stop holding life so tightly that it hurts. When you let go of the past, you're not erasing it. You're releasing its control over you. When you let go of fear about the future, you're not giving up on your dreams. You're trusting yourself to meet life as it comes. Letting go is wisdom. It's understanding that peace comes from flowing with life, not fighting it. From opening your hands instead of clenching your fists. From allowing things to come and go without turning every change into a personal tragedy. When you truly understand impermanence, something beautiful happens. You become more grateful when things are good, because you know they are precious. And you become gentler with yourself when things are hard, because you know they won't last forever. You stop rushing. You stop forcing. You stop demanding that life be different than it is. And in that softening, you feel lighter. You breathe deeper. You suffer less. Nothing is permanent. Not the pain. Not the fear. Not even this moment. And that's not something to be afraid of. That's the reason you can begin again, right now, with a calmer heart and a freer mind. At some point, I realized that most people are not really living. They are surviving. They wake up, check their phone, rush through the day, complain, scroll, sleep, and repeat. Life becomes a routine, not an experience. Buddha never taught us how to be impressive. He taught us how to be human. One of his simplest yet deepest lessons is this. Health is the greatest gift, and contentment is the greatest wealth. In a world obsessed with more money, more success, more attention, we forget what truly matters. You can have a big house, but no rest. You can have a high salary, but constant anxiety. You can have everything on paper, and still feel empty inside. Real wealth is waking up without a heavy chest. It's sleeping peacefully at night. It's having energy, clarity, and a calm mind. Contentment doesn't mean you stop growing. It means you stop chasing happiness in places it was never meant to be found. This is where social media quietly damages us. Every day, we compare our behind the scenes to someone else's highlights. We see filtered success, edited bodies, perfect smiles, and we think we're falling behind. But comparison is a trap. Buddha warned us clearly. The one who envies others will never find peace. Everyone is running a different race, with different timing, different struggles, and different lessons. When you constantly look at others, you lose connection with your own path. You forget what you value. You forget what matters to you. Living as a human means slowing down enough to listen to yourself again. It also means learning how to speak wisely. Words are powerful. They can heal or they can wound deeply. In moments of anger, we often say things that can't be taken back. A single careless sentence can stay in someone's heart for years. Before speaking, Buddha teaches us to pause and ask 3 questions. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? If your words fail any of these, silence is often the wiser choice. Silence is not weakness. It's awareness. Kindness is another forgotten strength. Everyone you meet is carrying something heavy that you cannot see. The rude colleague, the distant family member, the stranger who cuts you off in traffic, all of them are fighting battles you know nothing about. Kindness doesn't mean allowing bad behavior. It means responding with humanity instead of ego. The greatest victories in life are not external. They happen quietly inside you. When you control your anger instead of letting it control you. When you choose discipline over comfort. When you forgive even when your pride wants revenge. This is what Buddha meant when he said conquering yourself is greater than winning 1,000 battles. Purpose is not something you find by accident. It's something you live deliberately. Many people live on autopilot, guided by habit, expectation, and fear. They do what is expected, not what feels meaningful. But living with purpose doesn't mean having a perfect plan. It means doing each day with awareness and intention. Purpose can be simple. Showing up fully for your family. Doing your work with honesty. Taking care of your body and mind. Creating something meaningful, even if no one is watching. Living as a human means choosing depth over noise. Meaning over status. Presence over pressure. Slow down. Eat without distractions. Listen without waiting to reply. Work with focus, not panic. Rest without guilt. Celebrate progress instead of perfection. And most importantly, win inside first. When your inner world is calm, the outer world loses its power over you. This is how you live not as a machine, not as a comparison, but as a conscious human being. If there is one truth that can completely change your life, it is this. No one is coming to save you. And strangely, this is not a sad truth. It is a freeing one. For most of our lives, we wait. We wait for the right time. The right person. The right opportunity. The moment when everything finally feels easier. We tell ourselves, one day I'll be calm. One day I'll be happy. One day I'll be free. But that day never arrives. Buddha taught us something radical and empowering. You are the one you've been waiting for. No one saves you but yourself. And the moment you stop waiting, your life begins to move. This doesn't mean life won't hurt. Pain is part of being human. Loss, disappointment, failure, and change will come whether you are ready or not. But suffering is not automatic. Suffering is what happens when the mind refuses to accept reality. When it clings. When it fights what already is. Pain may knock on your door, but suffering stays only if you invite it in. Throughout this video, every lesson points to one simple truth. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not weak. You are just heavy. Heavy with old stories, old anger, old fear, old expectations, and old wounds you've been carrying for too long. And you don't need to fix yourself. You need to put the weight down. Letting go does not mean giving up. It does not mean forgetting who you are or what you've been through. Letting go means choosing peace over punishment. It means deciding that your past no longer controls your present. It means understanding that you can begin again without destroying what you've already built. Every Buddha lesson we explored comes back to this. Train your mind. Release attachment. Let anger cool. Stop comparing. Live consciously. Be kind. Win inside first. And when life hurts, feel the pain without turning it into lifelong suffering. This is not about becoming someone new. It's about returning to who you were before the world made you tense, afraid, and rushed. So take a breath. Right now. Slowly. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw relax. Let your mind rest for a moment. You don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need to rush your healing. You don't need to carry everything alone anymore. If this video touched something inside you, even just a little, that means you're already changing. Awareness is the first step. And once you see clearly, you can never truly go back to being unconscious. If you feel this message could help someone you care about, share it. Not to impress, but to ease someone's heart. And if you want to continue this journey of calm, clarity, and conscious living, subscribe. We are not building ordinary content here. We are building something meaningful. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your presence. And most importantly, thank you for choosing to grow. Until next time, breathe gently, live lightly, and remember, peace begins the moment you stop carrying what was never meant to stay with you.